and thank you so much for joining today's special topic webinar, How to Manage Your Weight Online for Free. My name is Carla. I'm the Director of Education at NeedyMeds, and before we kick off today's really popular and important topic, I wanted to go over just a few points. You can feel free to type any questions you may have into the questions section of your GoToWebinar control panel. Just know that we will reserve answering questions until the end. If we don't have the time to answer your specific question, just know we will follow up with you personally via email after the webinar by tomorrow afternoon-ish. Probably at the latest. Of course, I will provide you with the contact information for both NeedyMeds and our presenters organization today, should you have any questions additionally. I also want to let you know that this webinar is being recorded and will be available for viewing on the NeedyMeds YouTube page within a couple of days. So let's get started. For those of you that are not familiar with NeedyMeds, I always put a slide of our updated mission statement. We're a national nonprofit dedicated to educating and empowering those seeking affordable health care. And as evidenced by our mission statement, an important part of what we do is educating people. And we really define the education part of our mission in two ways. Certainly by educating people about NeedyMeds and the resources we have to offer, but also by letting them know about other ways to stay healthy, which is why we are so pleased to have our guest from Health Storylines here with us today. It is my pleasure to introduce Zana Tulani. Zana is the Director of Patient Experience at Self-Care Catalyst, where she manages digital health tools that empower people to become more active participants in their own care. She has also developed and deployed innovative health and wellness solutions for thousands of Canadians, resulting in improved health outcomes across over 2,000 locations while working for Canada's largest pharmacy retailer. By background, Zana is a registered pharmacist and has helped thousands of people achieve healthier and happier lives. She has her bachelor's degrees in pharmacy and cognitive psychology at Dalhousie University in Halifax, Nova Scotia, which I'm particularly jealous of because one of my goal destinations is Nova Scotia. But with that being said, without further ado, I'm just going to, while we transition between myself and our panelist Zana, I'm just going to put a slide of the NeedyMeds homepage. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass the screen to our panelist, Zana, and you should be able to grab that, Zana, and take it away. Everyone enjoy today's presentation. Take care.
Wonderful. Thank you, Carla, for the warm introduction. I am really excited to share with you some tips that have really benefited my patients over the past few years in regards to both managing their health, so what maybe you want to maintain your weight or maybe you're looking to lose some weight. And really all of these tips that I'm going to provide to you today are about holistic management of your weight. So it's not just, embarking on a fad diet or doing one thing and losing weight and then gaining it back the next month. I'm going to provide you with tips today that will hopefully be helpful from a long-term approach and help you on your journey today. Personally, as a pharmacist, I'm really passionate about making people look and feel their best. And I really hope that today this webinar resonates with you. I'm really excited that so many people are online. So welcome to everyone. I hope that you enjoy the session. Please feel free to write questions in your webinar box to Carla, and she can share those with me at the end. Today, I'm going to share with you 6 tips on how to manage your weight. And I'm also going to show you an online tool. It's free. Some of my patients use it. They love it. I use it myself. And with that, let's get started. So the first tip that I have for everyone seems pretty simple. And most people listen to it, but they don't follow it. But the ones that do are very successful. So I'm going to repeat it as I have to many patients. It's to pay attention to what you're eating, not the calories. And so typically, people will try and use the calorie in and calorie out approach. So they'll try and track every single calorie that they eat every single day, and then they wonder why it fails. It's really important to think of your body as a sacred temple. And I know that seems pretty funny, but it's true. And so the more you value your body and the more you treat it as a sacred temple, the more careful you're going to be about what you actually eat. Every time you eat, you don't need to take a lot of time, but just think about the food that you're putting in your mouth. I mean, if it's something as simple as an apple, okay, you know the apple has grown on a tree and that it's from a good place. If, on the other hand, maybe you're eating cereal, you know that it's coming from a box, which means that there are probably other ingredients than the intended ingredients in your cereal, which is fine. But it's just important to pay attention to it. Maybe perhaps next time you look at the ingredient list when you're going shopping for cereal and see if maybe sugar is the second or third ingredient. So it's important to really look at the ingredient section, not just the nutrition labels, to see what you're actually consuming. And if you want to carry it around in your body, because eating food doesn't just affect your weight, it also affects your hormones, your metabolism, and even how you think. I'm sure a few of you have noticed that when you're on an unhealthy track, or if you binge on chips for a night, you usually don't feel so great the morning after, or even it's maybe hard for you to get to sleep. And so your food really does affect everything. It's not just your weight. And so you need to satisfy your hunger with real food so it doesn't feel like a diet. Hunger erodes your willpower, and that's the reason why most diets can fail. So another example is if you try to replace food with, let's say, pop, you won't really feel full because the pop is just full of empty calories that won't fill you up. And there's also evidence that suggests that sugar might actually act on the liver to produce belly fat, so fat around your waist. So again, so just overall, just remember, pay attention to what you're eating and what you put in your body. And then over the long term, as you start to recognize certain ingredients on labels, you'll notice what's good for you and what's not over the long term, and probably make healthier choices in general. And a really easy way to track this is to use the free tool that I was mentioning. So NeedyMeds actually helped to create this in conjunction with Health Storylines. It's really easy to use, it's quick to register. You can go to needymeds.healthstorylines.com, and Carla will provide that link as well after the webinar, or you can download it on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Again, it's called NeedyMeds Health Storylines. So I'm just going to show you the online version really quickly and show you how to use it. I've created a test account here just to show you, but usually you just go here, create a free account. In this case, I'm going to log in. I already have an account. And this is what it looks like. So you can see a few colorful boxes right here in the center of the screen. All of these are really different health tools that you can use. So there's a tool to help you track your medications called the medication tracker, a tool called the symptom tracker right here, which is useful in helping your symptoms, appointment calendar to track your appointments. And so there's a lot of tools that you can go in and play with, but today I'm just going to focus on managing your weight. And then on the left-hand side, you see the menu. The two that I want you to pay attention to are the first one, so My Health Tools. This is the home page of all of the tools. And then there's one here called My Storylines. This is really cool because it shows you kind of like a history of your health or a story of your health over time. I'll cover that one a little bit later. So back to the first tip, pay attention to what you're eating. A really easy way to track this using this website is to simply go to this plus sign, because we're going to add a meal tool, and go into nutrition. So that's just right here, and then click meal tracker. So it's the first one there. It's very easy. You just click on it. Usually this will say add, but I already have it. So you click add, and then go back to your home screen, and it's right here. I can easily go into the meal tracker, and if I want, I can track any meal that I'm eating at any point of the day. I can even upload pictures, and nobody sees this. This is just for me, but my patients absolutely love it because they can kind of look back and say, oh wow, I actually didn't really eat that well this week, or oh wow, I've been doing amazingly and I'm very proud of myself. I'm going to go ahead quickly upload a meal. So let's see, date of meal, that's today. Time of the meal, I ate right before this webinar, so I'm going to scroll down here and click 1 o'clock. And I'm going to show you what I had for lunch today. I had a stir fry. So I'm going to upload the picture. It was absolutely delicious. I can put in notes if I want. I don't have to. I click done. And then what will appear is a summary of everything that I've eaten. It's like my own personal secret food blog. I had chicken here, I had salmon the other day. What else did I have? I had avocado with eggs and tomato. You guys can see all the foods that I've been eating and when I've actually logged them. So it's a really, really cool feature just for yourself to keep track of yourself. I'm just going to go back to the main page now. So back to the tips. The second tip that I have for everyone is to eat fat. Now this sounds pretty funny and it sounds counterintuitive, but I'm so surprised at how much bad press fat has had lately. You really can't live without them. We need fats for a lot of different reasons. We need them to ensure proper functioning of our brain. We need them for general energy and also to help our skin looking beautiful and to help our skin feel like it's glowing. And so there is a catch here. They have to be healthy sources of fat. So if you eat smaller amounts of these really good or unsaturated fats, it can keep you feeling full for longer. So for example, nuts, fish, avocados, olive oil. I'm Lebanese, and so in my culture, we eat a lot of nuts at home. We put olive oil on our salads as salad dressing. And so there's a lot of different ways in which you can incorporate these foods into your diet every day. And you might be a little bit scared because yes, they're very high in calories, but again, I wouldn't focus on the calories. Think about what you're eating is tip number one, and tip number two is eat fat, eat the healthy kinds of fat. Number three is a really easy tip, and it's not a traditional tip that you'll see if you look up how to lose weight when you're Googling it. And the tip is really just to clean your kitchen, clean your fridge. It's often easier to eat healthy if you place healthy foods right in front of you. It's logical. You go into the kitchen and you grab what's there. If there's a bag of Doritos on the table, guess what? You're going to eat that entire bag of Doritos. Another one is, have you ever gone to the grocery store and had good intention? So perhaps you bought broccoli or carrots and then you threw them in your fridge and then you never ate them because they didn't really look appealing or pretty and they weren't cut up. Yeah, that's happened to me. It happens to me all the time. And so what I've done is I've started to just make my kitchen look cleaner when I go in. There are healthy, really delicious options on the counter like nuts and seeds. And then in my fridge, I've cleaned it up so that I chop up my vegetables as soon as I get home from the grocery store. And I put them in a nice tray with maybe some hummus dip or tahini or whatever type of healthy dip you want to use to make your veggies a little bit more palatable. And so that is tip number three, is to clean your kitchen. Tip number four is to get moving in your everyday life. So we all know that we should all be exercising a few times a week, but you can actually burn far more calories over the long term if you just increase simple, everyday, lifestyle-based activities. So Zana, what do you mean by this? What I mean is that perhaps you could get off the train or a bus stop early and then walk the rest of the way to work. Or maybe you could take the stairs or engage in gardening or tennis. Maybe when you meet your friend for coffee, instead of sitting down for coffee, you walk around with your coffee around the block with your friend. And so there's a lot of really easy, simple things that you can incorporate into your everyday life that won't give you results immediately, but it will absolutely help you over the long term and you'll just start to feel better. This is a really good way to just burn those extra little calories despite advances. And so there's another thing that I teach my patients, and it's called temptation bundling. And this is when you combine two activities together, so one that you don't like and then one that you do like, and then you combine them together. So for example, I love watching a certain TV show. It's called Dragon's Den. I think it's really fun to watch. And what I do is I will record it or time it when I'm going to the gym so I can watch it on the treadmill. It's really hard for me to get myself to the gym, and it's quite a big accomplishment for me. And so when I'm on the treadmill, at least I'm watching something fun or listening to good music or doing it with a friend. And so there's a lot of different ways that you can use temptation bundling, but it's really about, it's almost like tricking your brain into doing something healthy for you. Now, A really easy way to track your exercise is, of course, using our online tool. So again, this is the home page up on the screen. I'm just going to click this plus sign here at the bottom, and I'm going to go into physical activity right here. I'm going to add the exercise diary, so that's the one in pink. I click on it, click add, and there it magically appears on my home screen. Again, this tool is free for everyone to use. You click exercise diary, and then you can really easily put in your exercise for that day. So today, the 31st, I was at the gym. I did calf raises and leg extensions maybe this morning, and I worked out for 30 minutes. So I'm going to click done. And then all of that is going to get saved, and it's going to be summarized for you, and you can track it. And so it's a really, really fun way and an easy way to kind of track your progress, your exercise progress. Number 5 is one of the most important ones, and it's to step on your scale daily. Now, there's a lot of debate about this, about should you step on your scale, should you even weigh yourself, should you do it daily, annually? And my theory is this: if you step on a scale, it's not necessarily to obsess or freak out about the number that you see, it's really just to hold yourself accountable. So in that way, in 3 months, you don't need to say, oh my gosh, oh, how did I gain 20 pounds? If you weigh yourself every day, there won't be huge surprises, and you can't really gain that much weight in one single day. There's also a study where researchers found that among people who were trying to lose weight, those who weighed themselves daily and recorded their results lost about 3% of their body weight on average over the course of a year. And so, of course, there's an easy way that I'm going to show you using this tool, because it's hard to kind of do it alone. You can kind of think of this tool as your companion, either on your phone or online, whatever you find easier. So I'm actually going to go here to Daily Vitals. It should already be on your screen. It's in pink on the top right. I'm going to click into that. I'm going to click add, and I can add in anything I want. I can add in weight, height, my body fat percentage, blood pressure, glucose, waist circumference, pulse. And I'm going to click weight here. I don't really want to add any notes, so that's fine. I'll just click finish. I've added it twice here. And then let's say I'm just going to make up a weight here. Let's say I put in 170 pounds, not kilograms. That would not be good. Okay, I'm going to click done. And then you can track your weight over time. So as you make more entries, it actually summarizes it for you in a graph, which is amazing. And you can track it over time. So that's that. And then my very last tip for you is to be mindful. And I'd really like everyone to think about that. I mean, losing weight is not an easy thing to do. That's why this webinar is so popular. And that's why I've counseled so many hundreds of patients on how to manage their weight, how to lose their weight. They always ask in the pharmacy. And just remember, it's always about taking a holistic approach, because it'll last longer. You also need to keep in mind your mood. I mean, do you ever notice that you probably eat more, of course, when you're stressed out or you're anxious or you've had a really hard day at work? I know that certainly happened to me, and I'm sure some of you are also nodding with me right now. And so it's important to keep track of your emotional health as well. It's not just a number. It's not just weight. It affects everything. And so the last trick that I want to show you using this online tool is right here. It's called Daily Moods, and it's in this bluish green color. I'm going to click on it. And I'm just going to click the face that I feel. It says, how are you feeling? It's really easy to use. I am going to say that I feel, let me think about this right now. I feel relieved. I'm going to click this one right here today, because it's been a busy day and I'm very relieved at all of the work that I've got done. So I'm going to click the orange one here. And then all I do is I click done. And then, oh my gosh, look at this. It's tracked my mood over time, which is really cool. So you can see on every day of the week, I've put in whether I've been excited or maybe I've been sad, or geeky here, this determined face. And if I go to the second item here on the menu on the left, it's called My Storylines. I can see a summary of some of the things that we talked about today. It's like my own personal health summary that no one else can see. I see my moods, I can see my weight, I can track my symptoms, which I didn't show you today, but feel free to play around with that. You know, I've recorded if I felt bloated or maybe a little too full. Here are all of my meals all in one place. My exercise diary is below. And so it's just a really cool tool that you can use. It's very easily accessible on your phone or online. You can track all of these things so that when you do go to your doctor or when you do come to see me as a pharmacist in the pharmacy, I can easily just look at your health summary and talk to you about it and see what you found hard, or perhaps I'm noticing that you're forgetting to maybe take your medications when you're feeling frustrated, or you tend to eat a lot more when you're feeling sad. And so there's a lot of really cool things that you can find out about yourself by tracking it. And so that's our quick summary for today. Thank you so much for everyone for listening. I hope that you found this useful, and I'm going to pass it back over to Carla.
Fantastic. As always, thank you so much. And let me go ahead and bear with me while I grab that screen and see where my PowerPoint went. And I think I should be able to go ahead and grab the screen from you. Did you pass it over, Zana?
Just right now, yes.
There we go. Thanks, everybody. So, Zana, as always, a wonderful presentation. And as everybody can see, and let me put this up because that's a little bit distracting. Actually, you know what? While I'm gabbing away, I'm going to go ahead and put up some contact information for Health Storylines that Zana referenced during her presentation, as well as NeedyMeds in case you have any questions. As you can see, this is why NeedyMeds is so excited to partner with Health Storylines and have Zana's expertise um, shared with the NeedyMeds users. They take what is really, as you had said, Zana, a very challenging topic for a lot of people, losing weight, how to begin, how to do it successfully, and break it down into not only measurable but attainable goals, but make it a way that's simple. As you said, taking care of your health and your weight specifically can be a real challenge. So the tips that you provided, as well as the tool, which I use and I find really amazingly easy and interactive and simple. And I will say that as somebody that I do not have any other apps on my phone. For a while, I had Uber. That's it, Uber and my health storyline. So if I'm using it, I would absolutely say that anybody would be able to take advantage of the simplicity of it. And again, you could do it online or on an app, and I can show you where to also download that on the NeedyMeds website. But of course, you can email Health Storylines, is that email address right there, or you can go ahead and visit their website. That's the link that you need, needymeds.healthstorylines.com. So again, I'm going to leave that up there just for a moment. And in just, I already see some questions coming in, Zana. And before we take those questions, I also want to take just a moment to mention just a few quick resources about NeedyMeds. I'm not going to go through at all everything on your screen. I just wanted to put this slide up because it's an example of some of NeedyMeds' most popular cost savings healthcare resources. As we can all agree, an important step in taking care of your health is making sure you can basically afford your healthcare needs, which is getting more and more challenging. If you are having difficulty affording your medications or any other healthcare expenses, please don't hesitate to reach out to NeedyMeds. And you could do that via our website or toll-free helpline. And again, I will put that slide up to give you our contact information. All of the assistance we provide that we connect you with is not only free, but it's anonymous. So please don't forget that it would be our pleasure to be another resource that you turn to. Let me go ahead and put this slide back up. And Zana, I'm going to go ahead and start directing some questions to you that are coming in from our audience. First of all, let's see. Oh, here's a great question that comes up a lot, Zana. Are there any supplement recommendations that you would suggest to help with weight loss?
That is a very good question, and I unfortunately won't be able to give that person's, I won't be able to respond specifically for that person, only because it depends on which medications and which supplements you're already taking. And so I wouldn't want to recommend something over a webinar that may not be appropriate for you or that may interact, but I would definitely go and visit your pharmacist. There are a few general types of vitamins and supplements that you can take that are very easily available at the pharmacy over the counter. But just for safety and health reasons, I wouldn't be able to recommend that right now over the webinar.
I think that's really important. And our audience member that asked the question, I'm so glad that you did, because that's a common one. I mean, it's something I would certainly ask myself, but I think, Zana, it drives home the point that erring on the side of caution, making sure any supplement that you take may not be isn't counterindicated to anything else you're already taking. But as Zana said, go ahead and take advantage of your local pharmacist for any questions you may have, and certainly rely on your primary care physician if you do have access to one. I will do a little plug here as well that if you don't have a primary care physician, NeedyMeds does have a database of more than 15,000 free sliding scale and low-cost clinics that you can find in your area. And since the database is so robust, I would be surprised if you couldn't find one pretty close to home. So thanks for asking that question. Another question coming in, here's something really specific. Is 5-HTP a good vitamin to take for hunger suppression and improving mood? I, of course, don't know anything about that. And Zana, the answer may be similar to the one you just gave for the previous question, but I will kick it over to you nonetheless. So again, the question is 5-HTP a good vitamin to take for hunger suppression and improving mood?
Yeah, I know it's unfortunately going to be the same response as before. I mean, 5-HTP is 5-hydroxytryptophan, and it's a precursor to a neurotransmitter called serotonin. Again, unfortunately, you would need to go and ask your pharmacist in the pharmacy or your physician just to ensure it doesn't interact with anything. But what I want to drive home here is a lot of people want to take supplements, and I think it's great that everyone wants to be proactive and find things that will help them. But to be quite frank, there is no miracle pill, and it's not always easy, but even just mixing up the different types of foods that you eat can help to stimulate your metabolism much more than any supplement would. And again, it's important to pay attention to what you're eating and what you're putting in your mouth. I mean, the body produces everything that it's supposed to be, well, for most people, everything that it's supposed to be producing naturally in the body. And so I prefer really not to take any types of supplements and really just to try and get those nutrients through the foods that you eat, and definitely increasing the variety of the different types of foods that you eat.
Really important. And thank you again to our audience member for asking that. And the reason I'm asking Zana out loud, and we have a bunch of questions, I will remind our audience that we won't have the time to get to everybody's questions, but certainly if we don't respond to you right now, we'll follow up with you via email by tomorrow at the latest, but you can feel free certainly to reach out to Health Storylines or NeedyMeds at that contact information on the slide right now. But these are really important questions and I think, and Zana, I wonder if you'll agree, very common questions, which is why I think it's important to ask them out loud to Zana.
Yes, absolutely. They're very common questions. I get asked these all of the time in the pharmacy. But again, I would revert back to making sure that it's safe and asking your pharmacist or doctor.
That's right. One of the other questions coming in, let's see, is actually, this is great, about hydration. What are the recommendations for hydration as far as amounts per day and types? And are there general types you should avoid? So, like, what is better? Should you go for the sugar drink, or should you have the diet drink, or should you have a juice instead?
That's absolutely a great question. Hydration is key, and it's one of the most important things that you can put in your body. I'm really glad that you brought it up. I didn't have enough time to go into detail, but of course it depends on your height, your weight, if you're male or female. Traditionally, though, there's the 8-ounce glasses a day, which equals to about 2 liters or half a gallon of water. But it's important to remember that there are other ways of intaking water. So just like the person who asked the question, you're exactly right. I like to try and eat a lot of fruit in the water. Fruit, it has a very high percentage of water in the actual fruit, and you're also getting all of the other benefits from the fruit. I would try to avoid sugary drinks if possible, because yes, you are getting the water, but I like to refer to pop as liquid sugar. It's not always good for you. But again, fruit. Some people like sparkling water, or they like to drink water by flavoring it with lemon, or even those soda stream devices where they fizz up your water and they carbonate it. I mean, that's fine. It's really just at the end of the day important to make sure you get enough water in your body. And after a few weeks, you'll probably start to notice that your skin is starting to look a little bit better, or even your urinary system and your gastrointestinal tract is starting to feel better. So it's definitely very important and vital to your overall health, not only on the inside, but also on the outside.
Thank you so much. And again, another great question asked by our audience that is, as evidenced by your response, it's a crucial part to our well being. So thanks for asking that. We do have a question coming in. Just just driving home again. Somebody's asking about the weight loss journal. Is there a way to journal? I'm sorry. Was that? Am I? I think I'm reading this incorrectly. You know what? I think I'm reading that question incorrectly, everybody. So forgive me. And the person just deleted it. So I think we all had our questions, our signals crossed. There are a couple other questions that we don't have time to answer right now, but again, we'll follow up with you. I do hope that everybody doesn't hesitate to take advantage of this really invaluable and free resource. Again, there's the contact information. I will remind everybody that has joined us. We do hope you join us for other NeedyMeds upcoming webinars, and there are a few of them coming up through the month of February. And again, you can sign up for those on the NeedyMeds homepage and the calendar events on the bottom right-hand side. Again, today's presentation is being recorded. We will do our best to convert it into a video and get it uploaded onto the NeedyMeds YouTube page. With that, thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time out of your busy day to learn these really important weight loss tips, and hopefully about this free tool that you will be able to incorporate into your life. Zana, thanks so much for taking the time to share your expertise. Have a great rest of the day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.